I find the summer to be the most challenging time of year for my photography. But today was anything but a challenge. Today was a perfect day of photography.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from here in North Wales. Today I am on Anglesey off the coast of Newborough at Llanddwyn Island, probably one of the most photographed places in North Wales because of its famous lighthouse. But today I am going to prove that there is so much more to photograph here than just that one subject. Now, this is a location that I've come to time and time again over the years, but I've never got any photos here at golden hour, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to actually bringing you guys to this location because it's somewhere that I've not actually done a video from here on the channel. So lots to do today. So as well as bringing you guys to this location, I've also spent the day with fellow photographer Scott Edwards, who I mentioned in last week's video. I'll link his channel down in the description. But we've just spent the day together just doing some photography and having a bit of an explore. And the best thing about coming to your favourite places, as I am today, is when you get to share those places with, fellow photographers, other like-minded people. So we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of that as well. So this composition does utilise the lighthouse, but not the main lighthouse. It's actually this smaller one out in the bay, and it's all the rocks alongside the beach that are kind of, I guess, drawing my attention just because there's so much great texture, and you can use them as leading lines if you have the smaller lighthouse as the subject. So all I'm doing is a 3-shot focus stack in sort of portrait orientation, just making sure with the composition that the sort of edges of the rocks don't interrupt the beach and the sort of bend of the coast. So there's just a bit of separation between everything in the frame. And at the minute there's some nice side light hitting the rocks, which is why I've kind of prioritized getting this shot first, because the sun is going to sort of set over the hill and then all of this might end up being in shadow, which I don't think works quite as well compositionally. So I will put this photo up. Let me know if you think it works. So it feels like only last week I was getting ready to actually say goodbye to summer, and I was kind of looking forward to autumn, but today it looks like summer is back in full force, which is actually quite nice because conditions have been really lovely today. There's some kind of clouds that are starting to roll in, which hopefully when the sunset happens are going to light up really nicely and create some great interest in the sky. Because that's the thing, although a blue sky day can be great for that sunset, it can also lead to potentially quite boring skies. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that, the light is going to come. We're kind of still spoiled for choice for subjects, really. There's a lot of stuff here to photograph, and sunset shoots are normally a bit frantic for me. I'm always kind of worried that I'm going to miss the shot, or that, I'm going to focus on something when there's something better around the corner. But I've really got to try and commit today, and also remind myself that today is not just about the photography. So as I mentioned, Llanddwyn Island is definitely one of my favourite places, not just for photography, but just in general. There's so much nostalgia and so many great memories attached to this place for me, and the photography is just an added bonus. But I think the benefit of coming to these locations with somebody else, because let's face it, being a photographer can be a bit of a lonely existence at times. Quite often I am doing photography by myself, and that's great. I'm quite an introverted person, and I quite like the peace and quiet of being able to take your time with photography. But really the kind of beauty of a location can be sort of fully imagined when you bring somebody else who does a similar thing to you to that location. That's been one of the biggest things that I've realized today, being here with Scott and just, you know, seeing how he operates and seeing how he approaches photography. Because when you know somewhere so well, like I do here, I mean, I've shot here so many times, but seeing how Scott shoots here and seeing the types of images he's getting, it's helping me learn more about this particular location, because he has a sort of fresh perspective, he has a different viewpoint, a different perspective to me, and he's shooting things that I probably would never have noticed. And just by seeing him kind of photographing these different subjects, it's helping me notice things. And you know, that means the next time that I come to visit, I'm probably going to have a slightly different view and a slightly different perspective on this location. So I kind of urge you all to try and share photography and share this experience with other people, because today has been a really great day. We said when we kind of started that it wasn't going to be about making videos or about doing photography. It was just about, you know, coming out and sort of enjoying North Wales. But I think we're both pretty happy with the photos that we're getting. But I mean, come on, it's so easy when places look like this. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, sunset shoots can often be a bit frantic, so I decided to prioritise on the photography for the remainder of that evening. And talking about the photography, we were both saying as we were walking back to the car that although the location like that, you know, that main lighthouse is the famous subject, it's the thing that everybody photographs, and whilst I'm really glad to have taken that photo because it's one that I've wanted for a long time, we also found, and we actually preferred, photographing some other subjects away from that lighthouse. I've mentioned on the channel before about honeypot locations, those very famous subjects that are often photographed and heavily photographed, and they are often photographed for good reason. You know, there's no denying that that lighthouse is absolutely beautiful. But when you have conditions like we had on that evening, and when you have light that is that good, there's just so much other photographic potential around you, and I find that photographers can sometimes get too fixated on one subject, and we actually found so much value in exploring some of the lesser photographed aspects of that location, whether it was the light catching the wall of the lighthouse and getting tighter and having a bit more of a sort of intimate shot of the texture of the wall with the light and the contrast. I absolutely loved that photo, and noticing things like colour contrast, like the shot looking out at sea with the rocks that were catching that really nice golden light with the distant hills of the Ynys National Park mountains, and that sort of yellow or orange and blue colour contrast is just really complementary and always looks great. It's like this close-up shot as well of the cross on the island, again that golden light hitting the textured rock with the nice blue in the sky. These little intimate scenes are just so great to photograph, and if you're focused on the one main subject, then they can often be missed. And this is also a great benefit of sharing these locations with, you know, friends and fellow photographers, because you bounce ideas off each other. You know, as we were walking around the island, we were both sort of focusing on our
own compositions and doing our own thing, but every so often just, getting together and sort of talking about what we've found and what's catching our eye really does help you kind of broaden your photographic horizons, and you can just be a sounding board for each other. And I think just getting out as often as you can with fellow photographers is a great way to learn. It's a great way to understand locations better and build a deeper appreciation for where you are. So I will leave it there for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the photography shared in this video, then make sure to give the video a thumbs up. I've left Scott's channel down in the description as well, so if you enjoyed his photos, then I know he would appreciate if you took a second to check out his channel and maybe hit that subscribe button over there. You can hit the subscribe button here to see more content from myself. I post videos every week about photography and the creative life, so new videos come out every Wednesday at around 5 PM UK time. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, consider stopping by next week for the next one. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.